Wala namang ibang makakapagkumpirma nito. Kahit si Imelda Marcos ay hindi naman kinumpirma 'to noong in-interview siya, sa segment do'n po kay Maring Winnie Monsod. Hindi ko alam kung Maring Winnie Monsod ba yung pangalan ng segment na yun o nung, programa na yun sa Channel 7. Kahit si First Lady Imelda Marcos ay idinenay ang istorya na ito. Pero, diba, dahil nga po sa kapansin-pansin na baba nitong si Imeh Marcos at nitong sinasabi na kanyang ama daw po na si Arsenio Lacson ay talagang nagkakaroon po ng hinala ang mga Pilipino ngayon na baka nga itong si Imeh, anak daw po ni Arsenio Lacson. Kahit na dinenay na ito ng dating First Lady Imelda Marcos. Ngayon, meron daw pong traits itong si Imeh Marcos na kamukhang-kamukha kay Arsenio Lacson. Yan po yung sinasabi ng mga nasa comment section na nakita ko sa post na ito. So, ito po. Panoorin po ninyo itong audio visualizer na ito na kung saan ay nandito po yung kwento kung paano daw po nagkakilala si Imelda Marcos at itong si Arsenio Lacson. Panoorin mo.
For several decades, Filipinos joked and rumored that Imeh Marcos was not in fact the daughter of the dictator Ferdinand Marcos. Instead, she was the byproduct of Imelda, Romualdez's special favors with the late and colorful Manila Mayor Arsenio Lacson in a desperate plea to overturn the results of the 1953 Miss Manila pageant. In 1952, a 23-year-old Imelda Romualdez had moved to Manila from Leyte, living in her politically powerful cousin Representative Daniel Romualdez's garage, where she shared the room with the housemaid. During her time in Manila, she worked as an unofficial servant to her cousin's wife, Paz Gueco, aunt of Benigno Ninoy Aquino Jr., and heiress to the Gueco fortune, and a nanny to the children. Later, Daniel found Imelda working as a sales lady in a music shop in Escolta. This angered her father, Vicente Romualdez, perceiving it as ill treatment of his daughter. To calm their uncle, Daniel and Eduardo Romualdez would use their influence as a representative and a member of the government's monetary board to give their cousin a job as a clerk at the Central Bank Intelligence. But before her job at the Central Bank, many found the young Imelda beautiful but not enough to be the center of attention. That was until Angel C. Anden, a professor at the Manuel L. Quezon University and an editor of This Week, a magazine of the Manila Chronicle, photographed Imelda for their Valentine's Day cover. He described her as the kind of face a man carries throughout his life behind, a secret trapdoor in his memories. This was essentially her first public appearance, after receiving some singing lessons from Adoration Reyes, whose daughter was the godchild of Imelda's cousin, Loreto at the Philippine Women's University College of Music and Arts. Imelda felt confident enough to make her debut, hoping to win the 1953 Miss Manila contest. To her dismay, when the votes were counted, her name wasn't even among the finalists. Heartbroken, she sought to overturn the results by appealing to the mayor of Manila, the brash and colorful Arsenio Lacson. Truthfully, the late Arsenio Lacson's career and antics deserve an article of their own. But that is for another day. For all his admirable qualities, Arsenio Lacson was without question a womanizer. His own widow, Luz Lacson, described him in 1987 as a very naughty man. This is also confirmed by Joseph Burkholder Smith, a CIA agent who was stationed in Southeast Asia and spent a great deal of his time in the Philippines. He recalled that Lacson, every day between 4 out to 4:30 p.m., at what is now the Bayview Park Hotel Manila, would have Chinese tea time. He would be provided a lovely young Chinese girl, sometimes more than one, for pleasure. Agent Smith also reported that Lacson died from a heart attack during one of his Chinese tea time sessions. Through Dr. Angelo Singian, Adoracion Reyes' brother-in-law, Imelda was able to have a meeting with Mayor Lacson. She pleaded her case that the results must have been rigged as the winner did not have any sponsors unlike her. Mayor Lacson was said to have chuckled and winked as he gave his reply. Miss Romualdez, you are really bent on winning this contest. Then you are going to win the contest. The next day on March 3rd, 1953, the newspapers published Mayor Lacson's objections against the results, citing as mayor of Manila He would nominate the only candidate of the city of Manila for the beauty contest. This did not, however, change the results. Norma Jimenez would retain her title as Miss Manila, but Imelda was able to receive a consolation prize given the title Muse of Manila, and her first taste of political leverage. It was a scandal. A young, unescorted woman visiting a womanizing politician. It was far too easy. Luz Lacson even confronted the mayor about the matter, asking him if he was in fact having an affair. His response was vague, as Mrs. Lacson recalled. He just told me, "Don't be silly, but you know how men are." The scandal followed Imelda even after her marriage to Ferdinand Marcos in 1954, made even more heated as Marcos and Lacson were known to hate one another. It was an eye-raising incident reported and witnessed by Marcos's publicist later. Dissident Primitivo Mijares, Arsenio Lacson, announced that he would publish a dossier in order to prevent Marcos from successfully running for another term in the House of Representatives. Getting wind of this from friends in the Nacionalista Party, Marcos planned to have Lacson killed, similar to what he did to Julio Nalundasan. But Imelda would intervene. Later, Lacson proclaimed that there would be no bombshell dossier. He instead became Imeh's godfather. One of the darkest details about this scandal was in March 1957. Ferdinand Marcos offered a proposition with Arsenio Lacson in his own home. The proposition was Lacson would run as president with Marcos as his vice president. Lacson was angered and rebuked him for even suggesting such a union. Upon reflecting on the visit, Lacson was said to have said the following: "You can become president of this country only over my dead body. This guy Marcos is really a scheming, deadly man. Just because I was ahead of him with Imelda, he wants to get even with me in a most complicated manner. Of course, if I should be president, and Marcos is my number 2 man, then maybe I can requisition the vice president's lady once in a while. However, with both fathers deceased and the noted lengths, the Marcos clan has gone to distort the truth and their image to the public. It may never be known if the rumors and jokes are indeed rooted in truth. But Mother Nature and biology have their ways of answering questions of parentage, such as Imeh Marcos's large and protruding chin, which is noticeably absent amongst her siblings, the Ferdinand Imelda children, but is near identical to Arsenio Lacon's distinguishable chin. With all this in mind, who is the father indeed? Raimundo White.
Nakita ko po yan sa isang FB page ng pangalan, The Alternative Page. So ngayon po, itong FB page na ito, yan yung naglathala at nakalagay doon sa baba, Raimundo White. So hindi po alam kung sino yung Raimundo White.